Well, I don't think I mentioned it to you, but to Lev, we've been around since 1968. This
Yeah.
whole thing started back when there were like 3 families in Enfield that needed help.
Wow.
Okay?
Wow.
Now we're doing over 300 families a week.
Yeah.
That's, almost 1,600 people every week coming through here for food. It's just kept, and I've been on here for 5 years, and every year I just see it increase and increase and increase.
Yeah.
And I know I have to attribute it's to the economy.
Sure.
It's just a terrible, terrible, terrible time for so many people. Probably the bottom line is just to try to, for us right now, we're trying to keep our head above it by trying to keep enough food on the shelves
Yeah.
to stay with the demand of the amount of people that are coming to us. The unemployment, how many unemployed people are coming in here every day? We're signing up anywhere between 10 and 20 new families every week.
Wow.
And these are people that have worked all their lives and
Yeah.
just are unemployed, laid off, they can't do it anymore. So basically for us, it's to be, right now, my main goal is to be able to keep enough food to be able to give the people their groceries on a week-to-week basis.
So what happens, the folks that I've seen throughout the afternoon coming in here to get groceries, the single moms, for example, that I'm watching come in to get food for their kids, what happens if you're not here, if they can't get food here, how else do they feed their families?
Well, that's a good question. Now, for one thing, Enfield is lucky enough. We have a soup kitchen called Loaves and Fishes. And our people, we always say, go down there, get a hot meal every day. Okay, supplement what we give you because we know what we're giving you is not enough to feed you for the whole week, all the meals.
Yep.
But we also suggest about getting in with food stamps. We actually have people that are trained to come here once a month and pre-qualify people for the food stamp program.
Okay.
It will help them know whether or not they qualify without them having to drive or get transportation to Manchester to fill out a 17-page form and then find out they don't qualify. So we provide that service here for them. And they're so grateful because they don't have to go through all that.
So the pantry is really just one component of feeding folks.
Yes,
It's
yes.
The pantry, it's the soup
kitchen,
yes,
the food stamps,
stamp
the
component.
WIC program,
Okay. Now, what
that.
about the kids? One of the things that I visited earlier, Loaves and Fishes, and one of the things that really impacted me, my wife and I have 3 little kids, and one of the things that really impacted me was going in there and seeing a mom when I first arrived with their kids. And it's hugely emotional because there's no way, not to see your own family. Excuse me. And when you look at that, it makes you choke up because you think, wow, that's these are kids.
Yes. Yeah.
And what happens with those families? We were talking before about what you have to do to get them off these programs. How long is the average family, the average single mom, the average kid involved in the program?
With us, I would say probably 2 years.
Yeah.
2 years. A lot of it is, the truth of the matter is, they have to wait till their children are old enough to go to school.
Huh.
They can't pay for daycare.
Yeah.
Even the sliding scale income that the town may provide as far as daycare, they still can't do it. Because a lot of their children are all little. So once they can get their kids off to school, that's when you'll start seeing the differences being made. They start applying, they get into schools, they go into nursing, they go into, being a home health aide
So the absence of daycare for those moms is a huge factor in limiting their economic productivity and keeping them down.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Enfield is also, I don't know if you're familiar with the fact that we've got prisons all over the place around here. We also get a lot of the population where the families of a prisoner will move to where their loved one is in prison.
Yep.
So we will also get them here. Now they'll utilize our resources, okay, until their loved one gets out of jail. And then they go away. We have 2 male sober houses in Enfield and 1 female. Yep. So we supply them. They come down, they qualify, we give the food to them. They're here for as long as they need us. Hopefully they stay sober and they go out and they get a job or something and we don't see them anymore.
Yeah.
But one of our problems is that when the people come and qualify, we learn all about them. We find out, their information and everything. Yeah. But when they stop coming, we don't ever know. Sure. Did they move? Did they, did they go? I don't know. So that's one of our problems, and until we do our whole requalification process, we don't know.
Huh.
So
if you could wave the magic wand and
I
fill
wish
the shelves or make it so that folks didn't need to come and get food from the shelves, what would it be? I mean, if you had to walk through a couple of basic things that you'd like to see happen in Connecticut and in this nation, what would it be?
Number one, awareness. Okay. Not just on our level, but on the state level, awareness of the fact that there are hungry people in our town, in your town, in the state of Connecticut. Once you get the awareness, I've found that oftentimes once somebody is aware that this is true, it's a real problem, then they're ready to come and help.
Absolutely.
They're ready to give. It's people say, oh, your donations are going to go down. It's going to be so horrible. Well, we were blessed because our food donations went down. Our financial donations, when we have a Feinstein drive that we do every year that lasts during March and April, they actually went up. And we didn't know what was going on. And then I started thinking about it and talking to people, and they said what it is, the people that have it know it, and they're grateful, and they're giving more than they ever did before. Now that made me feel, that's nice. That's nice to know. But unfortunately, that amount of people, that group of people, is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And I know that they can only give so much. So if we can make people aware about the problem, the reality. We were saying earlier about this is real. And it's a hard concept. Nobody wants to think that it is.
I think it's very easy in society to turn away. The people who buy the TV ads or, political action committees and the politicians they own, and the problem is the average person is voiceless.
Yes,
and these people are struggling to have an average life.
Absolutely.
And so these folks are really voiceless.
Very.
And yet their challenges and needs are greater than the folks at the top of the pyramid.
A lot of times too, what I find out with a lot of our people, it's not that they're stupid or ignorant or anything like that. It's the fact that our government, it's made it so difficult for a person to find an answer to a question that they don't even know where to start. They don't know. They can pick the phone up, but they don't know who to call, or once they get that person, they don't know the question to ask. And there's I don't know how, again, if you could get an advocate that could say, here are the steps you need to do. Here's what you Susie, and your 5 kids, need to do. Here's the questions you need to ask. Here's the phone number. Here's the person you speak to. That in itself would help so much, because we can direct them to the agency, but we don't know the questions to ask, to have them ask either. So that's another part of awareness. It's not just awareness on the community about the fact that there's hunger, but awareness about the fact that people just don't know where to turn.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's frustrating. And then after you get turned down so many times, guess what?
You give up.
You give up. You give up. And I hate to see that worse than anything, but we have a lot of success stories. I don't want you to think that we don't. We have a lot of success stories here. We're lucky enough we get letters from people that have been clients. A lot of times clients that don't need us anymore come here to work and volunteer for us so that they can give back. It's a beautiful thing.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm
impressed.
so glad you came.
I'm glad I'm here.
Worked out very well. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Anytime.
Thank you.
Okay.